Evening all. If someone can just give me a heads up if they can hear everything okay, that'd be great. Just me this evening. Unfortunately, Dom's not on tonight, but he should be back with us next week. Um, yeah, so tonight I'm just going to be um, hoping to, hi Taryn, keep the chat running, and I may even crack open the store copy of Curse City. And yeah, all the notifications are working, which is always good. Excellent. Yeah, so what have you all been up to? Probably asked this question several times. I've just been working through some more MDF terrain for the store to try and get some more of that finished. And then Tom's going to be hitting it with the airbrush in the coming days. Yeah, we've got quite a lot to get through. We've got a decent amount of Orc terrain as well as some Necron terrain to get through. And then we're going to expand our bolt action terrain as well. Excellent. Cheers, Rich. Much appreciated. So that is all working. Brilliant. Yeah, so as I say, we're working through plenty of terrain, trying to get as much together as we can for going forward. Cool. Yeah, yeah, they're quite a nice warband. Or yeah, the Aurochs, Savage Aurochs. Yeah, I do like them, especially the Shaman. Really like. That's a really nice one. Hi Ollie, how are you this evening? Have you recovered from your chaotic stream last night? Yeah, all is well over here. Just looking forward to getting reopened. Yes, for those of you who don't know, that Ollie has just dropped in the chat is Ollie from Broadsword Wargaming, and he had a very lively stream last night with Kira Elvenblood. You can follow on Twitch, and also Luke from Geek Gaming Scenics. Yeah, so it was a lively stream. Lively is how I'm going to refer to it. But it's certainly worth a watch as all the streams. Evening, Nick. Yeah, I don't think it'll get too lively on here tonight. With it just be myself, I may struggle to keep the flow of the chat going. Yeah, well, we'll definitely, yeah, lively. Yep. We'll definitely endeavour to get you on at some point, Ollie. Get you and Kira on. That'd be cool. Yeah, so I was saying I might crack open my copy of Curse City later on. Well, I say my copy, the store's copy that we were handed. So I might crack that open in a bit. But I've also got some of this terrain to work through. I do love MDF terrain, so I've got a fair bit of that to crack on with. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Anyone? Yes, Curse City. It's certainly it's sitting here next to me. It's a beast of a box, but yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get around to that at some point later on. Is anyone else working on anything this evening? And I suppose the big question for you, Ollie, is has Typhus actually remained on its base, or is he still struggling to remain in an upright position? Oh no, keep the Titan links coming because I'm sure he may pop into the chat occasionally, not too often, but he will always appreciate seeing the Titan links. More Curse City, there's certainly been teasers, but I've not seen masses. I imagine they'll run it in a similar way to what they did with Blackstone, where you get the decent sets every now and again. And note for myself is order them when they come in, because they tend to be quite a short run on them. So especially, as you can imagine, with GW card packs as well, those upgrades that they add in. Blackstone's a lot of fun. Yeah, heck of a lot of fun. I've probably played about 6 or 7 games of it now and not disliked any of them, even when my character was in a lot of pain. But yeah, a lot of fun. And if they do the same with this, if they keep the momentum going with it, it'll be very good indeed. I've seen a fair few people wanting to use some of the Witch Hunter things type models for putting into Mordheim warbands. There's a lot of the old fantasy players who really seem to like the feel of some of the models. Don't know about you, Nick. Have you seen much of the models? I know you're into, is it 6th edition fantasy? I think I've seen you in the same group, in some of the similar groups that I'm in. We have got a couple coming in, I believe. Yeah, there's a couple of them coming in. Again, Underworlds is a way people have also been picking up models for just adding to warbands. And a sensible way to do it, especially if you've got Underworlds itself. So, as many as you know, we'll be reopening in 3 days. We'll be back open on Monday. We're going to be opening Monday through Saturday 9 till 6, and then 10 to 4 on the Sunday. So there'll be plenty of hours for people to get in. Be good to see some of you again. Obviously, it's the same protocol as it is everywhere. Masks, limited capacity in store. But over you'll get to see the few of the changes we've made. Got a few. Well, certainly got the Vallejo Game Air and Vallejo Game Colour. We've got those ranges in, waiting on a top up of them. So we've got the primers as well for that, and we started bringing some of the Colour Forge primers. We brought in the black to start with. They're releasing a range of 23 more in the coming months, along with we've brought in the magnets as well, a variety of sizes. I know we've got the Army Painter one that come in 2 sizes, but we've now got a mixture of sizes. They're all on the website at the minute. I've seen someone today's already picked them up to magnetize some of their Titanicus models. I imagine Dom and his many teeny tiny Titans will grab many teeny tiny magnets for said job. So we best get a restock at some point soon. Yeah. What else have we got? We got so much stuff has come in the store. The ACW stuff we've mentioned already. That's the 13.5, 15 mil scale. We've had a massive restock of Rubicon today. So 28 mil military models. We've also added a lot of the decals into that. And Pokemon, I believe we've had a small restock. They'll be going up probably the start of next week once we reopen. Yes, it's been busy deliveries. Oh yeah, and the new Warlord Victory at Sea stuff came in alongside a delivery yesterday, which was Star Wars Roleplay. We brought in some of the source books for that, along with the starter book, the main roleplay book itself. It's a 30th anniversary edition, one with pretty cool artwork on the front. So we've got that, and I think we've got the Cthulhu news of the bestiary for Cthulhu coming in at the start of the week as well. Again, that's been on pre-order for a while. But yeah, plenty coming in. Always happy for suggestions of other models as well, other things you'd like to see. Obviously, it's not always easy to get things at the minute, but there certainly seems to be better supply than there has been for some time. Restocks of Legion. They are on the list. Let's just have a quick look. I can check this. I thought we had Stormtroopers. I will double check. Yeah, we've got plenty of Stormtroopers in at the minute. You did say Storm. I always check this because the amount of times I made the mistake and it's Shore Troopers when I'm packing someone's order. Yeah, Stormtroopers. We haven't got 1,000,001, which I know is going to be a disappointment, but I think we do have double digits of boxes in the store at the minute. They were a fairly recent restock. Yeah, the Legion restocks seem to be coming fairly consistently now. Be interesting to see going forward. Obviously, we've got the new releases for them coming up, which will be they're due May, June time, I believe. It's got a couple of those coming in, going up for pre-order. They're proving pretty popular so far. If you're after the Stormtrooper upgrade box, let's have a look. I'm not sure how many of those we've got. Stormtroopers. No, we're out of those. They are on back order. We have got them on back order, but yeah, they come in. They're just a very popular. All the upgrades to be fair, very popular. Just adding that bit of versatility, or just adding a couple of cards to the units. Yeah, looking forward to having a game of Legion. I'm certainly May, all being well, May 17th onwards that week. Certainly get through a few games that week. Looking forward to Bolt Action and Legion, and actually sitting down and have a game of Magic with people. Now I'm started getting into the card side a bit more. It'd just be cool to sit down and have a game of that. Especially we got the new release of Strixhaven coming out in the not too distant future. And that brings out all the new Commander decks for this year. Yeah, so as I say, I'm going to have to finish off sticking many ladders to the crane in a bit. I think since that's quite intricate work, I might leave that for a while and crack on with something else. Trying to find a project and then realise there's many behind me. Terrain first. I can hear Dom shouting at me already. We need more terrain. Crack on. You must do this. Yeah, so we've got some the TT Combat Orc boxes, so quite hard to see. Yeah, it's very cool terrain indeed. Let's see if I can switch that up. I'm not sure if it'll be any better because the light is fairly bright anyway. Yeah, there you go. Just the work camera down the bottom. Light's a bit bright at the minute, but I will alter that for next week. I've moved the desk around. Monitor was getting far too hot in front of the window, so it has been moved to make it last more than a few months. So it would not go down well if I tried buying another one. Yeah, so as I say, I'm not sure how long I'm on for tonight. I think we'll just keep going with it. As long as the chat keeps moving, I will stick around, drink beer, and build terrain. So much terrain. You'll see me looking at the screen a lot. There is the TT Combat. It does not come with instructions, so you have to go on their web store and find them, which is really good. They've got all the PDFs on there. It's very straightforward. Each of the sprues has got the number on as well. So what's that one? Excellent. Don't want that one yet. It's 62. Orc Lookout. Let's do that one first. 62. I think I've got it figured out. Not sounding confident, that. 3, 4. 62 download. Evening, Steve. So, let's see if I can grab this picture. Yes, that does look right. Yeah, so just a couple of sprues for this first one. Yeah, it'd be cool to see them on the table, Taryn. Yeah, it's just going to be great to see all these forces that have been painted up during lockdown actually being on the table. It is 40k scale terrain. We should just make a table so it's not quite big enough for a battle wagon to fit through any of the gates or anything like that. So how's your TTS Crusade been going, Rich? I think last time I saw Reese mentioned it. I think it was yourself. Was it yourself and Zan as well? I think you were saying. that. Yeah, it's the same as most MDF terrain. It's just got a little lot pins on a couple of places. You can just push them out, which you'll probably see me doing in a moment. Especially if they're a bit harder than you want them to be. Also, I need a new blade on my knife. But yeah, they tend to just pop out and leave you a fairly clean shape. Just a little section of the join points. You just clean those up, and the job is a good one. Yeah, I think one thing we're trying to do is we're trying to get as many different tables going forward for 40k, so it'd be nice not to have it all being just imperial buildings, Gothic architecture, as much as I love those buildings. Yeah, it'd be good to have a bit of variety across the tables, especially when we get back down to running events. It'd be really good to see, as long as the buildings are doing a similar sort of job and there's no one table isn't hugely advantage over another. But we've got enough players who'd help us, with the organisation of that, making sure that we're not benefiting one table. I think so we've still got a fair few people bought into the 40k tournament when it does happen again. So I imagine that'll be one of the first tournaments we run alongside Yu-Gi-Oh! And anyone know of any Pokemon players who want to get involved in the online, please do get in touch, because we do have the first qualifier closing tomorrow, so you can still register for it, but it'd be good to have others in, so we can keep organised play going. We've only joined the Pokemon one fairly late to the party on that one, but it has been a heck of a process, and Dom's done sterling work to get it this far. So if you know of anyone who plays or has played and may have an online deck, get in touch. We can sort them out. There's plenty of freebie stuff to be had out there as well, like online codes and that sort of thing. Yes, the one wound Grey Knights. It is. Hopefully it won't be too much longer before you get an extra wound. And I can imagine Custodes and Night Crushing, yes. I assume Reese's Orc Battle Wagon is still as not as annoying, because it's an impressive beast, but it's still as good as ever. Annoying may have been the right word. I don't know, but it always seems to cause chaos and be the target of chaos as well. Almost, I will destroy you. I will destroy you this time. I will destroy you this. Oh, you've destroyed me again, haven't you? That's the fun of Crusade, seeing things level up or get the experience benefits, I guess. Yeah, so I tend to, as with plastic models as well, tend to dry fit them before gluing anything. And although you think it's often the next piece to put on, it isn't always the case. Yeah, if you are interested, Taryn, I believe, I will double check, but I believe you get an online code, or we can sort you out with an online code for an online deck if you wanted to take part. Yes, focus fire on the battle wagon. Yeah, it does seem to be one of those things that'll just trundle along doing its thing. But I love the way Reese approaches it. It's just a wreck, you know. It's just coming towards you. It's yeah. Oh, they are ridiculously small. Welcome to Titanicus. Yeah, I think with those Titanicus models, slow and steady wins the race. They are not pieces to be dropping and letting the carpet monster get hold of. Oh, don't no worries, Taryn. It's not a problem at all. I think I may even be taking part in this first event, and I have played the scenarios that teach you how to play the game. So it will be fun. Maybe not for me, but it'll be fun for someone. As long as I realise that it's for the greater good and not in a towel way, all will be fine. Yeah, but down the line, if you ever feel like taking part, we've got 4 qualifiers coming up. So if you want to take part, let us know. We'll see what we can do about sorting you out of an online deck. That's no worries at all. Yeah, it's one of those things. The Pokemon community is huge, but there's far less players than there are. It appears presently far less players than there are collectors. Which, but we may see more players once we get back into the store, because that's obviously the big part is the meeting people and playing the game face to face. Although we did have an OTS event at the weekend for Yu-Gi-Oh! That was a Duel Links. I believe it's a guy in Hull that actually took part and won. So fair play. Good to see plenty of people getting involved. Yeah, I will be exactly the same as I enter this, Terran. But yeah, we'll see if we can sort you out with a code anyway to maybe get you started playing the TCGO. So if you feel a bit more confident down the line, you can join in. That'd be cool. Yeah, it is one of the joys with Legion. I unsurprisingly, only painted half my Rebels force. When I say force, there aren't that. You don't need too many models to get you going. I'll be interested to see how the Occupier turns out. Are you going standard colours on that, or have you got something a bit different in mind? I've got an airspeeder. I've got a few vehicles to paint up, and I think I might go for a few different paint schemes. Now Dom's got the airbrush out at work, I might just pass him a colour and say, could you just do this for me? You want to experiment with a different colour? Here you go. Now's the time. So where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, so far, that's the base of the lookout tower. Just going to go to adding more bits into it now. yeah, I will certainly mix mine up a bit. I can understand you sticking more to the uniform side of things and the organised side of things. It certainly makes sense. Okay, now, so sorry for the silence. Just started concentrating on this bit. Yes, as I say, we've got more terrain. We've certainly got plenty of Legion terrain at the minute. Again, Dom's been working well getting that painted up. That's looking really good. So we'll have a nice Legion table. We can add in the MDF terrain alongside the Battlefield in a Box stuff that we've already got, which will work really well. Again, that stuff works pretty well for 40k as well. So, yeah. Yeah, the process has just been now, we're just trying to get alarm building more. Because we've got the airbrush. We're getting through. The major problem with terrain is getting the big coats on them. So we're going to get through a lot of that, get a lot more built, and then I'm going to go set to work on just adding some more of the detail. Although for the big piece of terrain, we don't need to add as much detail as they did on the early stuff when we had the Sector Imperialis bits, and I started dotting in every rivet that is on it. And that is not a mistake I will make again. However, it did look very nice. So you may see me painting it up again. Yeah, a lot of time was spent on that. But we also had a lot less terrain at that point when we first started on the market. Back in the day, we had hardly anything terrain-wise. And it was just a work in progress as we were going on. So, yeah, we started off with 2. For those of you that don't know, most of you probably already do. But back when we first started, we had 2 4x4 tables, and that both of them did not last too long because we ran out of space quite rapidly on the store for just adding new lines. So they both didn't last very long. Market were very helpful though, getting us more space behind to run events, which we're forever grateful for. We wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for that support we had. Yeah, there's times have certainly changed in the approaching what we at 2.5 years since we started. Feels longer. This last year has been an interesting one, as it has for everyone else. It's always that thing of, even though by nature. Many of us who play the systems aren't actually incredibly sociable. The minimal social side of it we have has been very much missed. Even if it's just coming to the store, painting, just having people to chat to at the store, that's been, yeah, very much missed. So we've already posted up about what the plan is for reopening. Obviously, the dates there, they are, obviously, they can change. We're hoping they don't change, but we may. Late night gaming, as we've already said, is something that we're expecting to start, but we're just going to see how it plays out and what the demand is for it as well initially. Yeah, that'll be the rates for a table. Well, probably be similar to what they have been historically. So we sort of £2, £2.50 per person. But yeah, that is what we'll move to, and we'll have some form of online booking. But again, it'll be maximum of 6 at a table, and everyone will have to sign in, as you'll have to do anywhere else you're going. So oh dear, yeah, I've not seen any of the sprues of them. I'm trying to think, have I got any? I may have the warband for Underworld. I think they had one. Yeah, I think that's all I've got, if I have got anything. Yeah, I've not seen how difficult they are to build. Yeah, certainly, you can hear the pain of you building those Gorgrunters. The pain of Steve assembling up his Adeptus Titanicus bits, and then Rich has got the relative ease of putting together some Legion models, especially the old Imperial stuff and the Rebel stuff similar. Incredibly straightforward. I did get a shock the first time I opened a bag of them, and for those of you who don't know, a lot of them come in small bags, so they're already cut off a sprue, they're already pretty clean, so there isn't really much to do, but they get models on the tabletop quickly. They've now moved to a sprue system for the models, which personally I think is a lot better, because your chances of having anything missing are far less, especially as Asmodee don't run Fantasy Flight. Asmodee, they don't run a parts department anymore in the UK, so you have to return the whole lot to the supplier, which can be a tad annoying for everyone involved. Let's have a look. Is this the right bit? It looks right. That's right. It does not look right. That is right. Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that. Tarrying with Pokemon, there seems to be a huge amount of collectors. I think even my daughters have shown an interest as well. They've not had any exposure to Pokemon outside of the store. I don't think. Maybe my youngest has seen Detective Pikachu, but That is about as close as I've got to Pokemon. So yeah, I'm hoping now they're showing an interest that they may also show an interest in the card side of it as well. That's something. It seems a fairly straightforward system, certainly from what I've played on the TCGO. So it'd be good to see how it plays out, and if they can hold their own. Although when they start beating me, I will stop playing, and that will be a disappointment for them. Or should I just carry on? No. They will gloat, though. I've taught them well. Yeah, so as you see, for those of you that can see, just tell you what, we'll switch to the other feed that I've got. Makes it a tad easier for you to see what I'm working on. And if I can flip this somehow. So look. Properties. Horizontal. Oh, that's the wrong one. So if we go to that, you guys should be able to see a bit better what I'm working on. So, excuse me as my mug is going to be in the way a fair bit, but I will endeavour to keep what I'm working on in the main portion of the desk. Yeah, so we've got plenty of this terrain. We're hoping once we reopen, and we've got a few tables set up. As we've mentioned before, there'll be less tables. We've got a lot more stock, and obviously we've had to over the times. Yeah, Rich, I don't know what the i7-1A Blackwing is as far as Star Wars lore goes. However, as a Rebel player, I'm getting the feeling that did not end well, and you can only apologise. I mean, that's all you can really do. It's obviously hit you hard, and you want to. You feel like things need to move on. I'm trying anything to get some love for the Rebels, but it is really nice to see a mix of players, especially play styles as well. It's quite cool. What I have noticed from playing Rebels is range is your friend. I don't know, I'm giving so much away before I actually give you a game, but range definitely your friend. So you got things like the commandos and the veterans who have the extra range. Yeah, it's always interesting to play different players, and especially it was quite difficult playing. Certainly clones when they first released, they were very difficult to play against. I think, as I was saying, range is the thing, but there is also with clones the synergies is insane. Really good because it's as it should be. So yeah, it's enjoyable. Had a couple of games against Tom. I think it was a couple, maybe only just been one actually. But I've certainly seen him in other games. Yeah, and there's certainly had fun. That. Oh, right. Oh, oh. I don't know how to take that. However, as a role player, I should be utterly appalled, but I'm also quite keen to see how it pans out. And obviously, I know not well for the rebels, but it's it's always good to see stuff like that on the table. Yeah, so with regards to the team championships, I believe its sign up closes tomorrow for the first one. Is it taking part tomorrow? I can't remember now. But there's but yeah, just have a look at the link we've got on Facebook. If you want any more info, just drop us a message through the group, and we'll see what we can do. But I should be able to sort you out of a code, just so you can play with your own deck rather than anything else. It's essentially what I've seen is about evolving Pokemon, and that is pretty much Pokemon. I may be oversimplifying it there, and there will be people who may listen to this in the future who will just be like, no, that's not how it is. It's far more intricate than that. But, Halloween reveal, like it. Yeah, we should do an event for Halloween this year. We're going to try doing as many events as we can. I'm there from 1 o'clock tomorrow, Valinda. Should I get there any earlier, I will drop you a message to say he can come down and pick it up early. But yeah, I expect people to be knocking the door down at just before 1. So we'll be there cleaning. I'll hopefully be there cleaning the courtyard prior to that, but it depends how the morning pans out. So that is that. Oh, you've got to put them that way. Let's see. Alright. Let's remember which screen to look at for the instructions. It's that one and that one. Fits. Excellent. So what's the next part? Yeah, it's no worry, Taryn. I think Ed's going to run some Pokemon sort of teaching days for us. So yeah, they'd more than happily talk you through it. I think I can pretty much talk my way around it now. I can't talk my way around the intricacies of it, but that's something for a later date to try and get my head around a bit more. Although Dom is a Pokemon professor, he has to take the professor's test to actually get the store signed up. So it may be worth getting him a little professor's badge as well. I'm sure he'd love it. The worst he could say is no, right? Well,
The worst you can say. Yeah. You could say far worse, but I don't think he wouldn't say that to me, would he? Probably. Yeah, right. Sorry, I did say I would try and keep most of this in the camera, didn't I? Which is not going that well at the moment. So, yeah, just working on, for those of you that joined us a bit later, just working on the Orc Lookout Tower from TT Combat. So we're adding more and more terrain to the store, which is good. Yeah, just wondering where the little nicks are on that. Definitely one there. That's fine. It's off, that's why I can't see it. Yeah, as I say, I'm not sure if Dom gets a little certificate or not to say he's a professor. But I feel like we should all make the most of it. Because I'm sure if the situation's reversed, it'd make me make the most of it. Alright, back to these instructions. Let's have a look. I think it really matters. Tell you what, for a few minutes, I might just move me to the top. I don't put too much up there. So that should hopefully look a bit better. I just realised I do most of the work at the bottom of this desk, so if you are wanting to see anything, that's exactly where my hands are going to be. Oh, that's a very good idea. I actually think he'd wear that as well. Just lord about the place. Have you seen me? This is who I am now. But hidden somewhere on the mortarboard has to be a little pokeball or something. However, it's one of those things. I know even if he's not watching now, he will watch this back just to see what we've all said. So that is. This one looks weird. Which way does this go? Seems to be. Is it that? Sometimes the instructions are interesting, so you have to just go to the original. Ooh, cannot make any sense of that from that picture. Alright, so it's got to have 3 at the end, so that is not going to go there. It doesn't. It goes over like that. And that's why there'd be 2 little notches there. It's almost like it was meant to be. Excellent. What's next? Yeah, Rich, as you can imagine, we did briefly touch on the idea of purchasing a Titan last week when we met up. However, very quickly decided that the Forge World web store was not something we needed to be on late in the evening. However, we probably stayed on the web store longer than we should have done. It will be one of those wonderful things when we do get one, and then we'll look at it and go, wow, this is going to take a while to clean up, isn't it? Yeah, we certainly a want. I think maybe at some point. Maybe at some point in the not too distant future. Ooh. Depending on the time of night we order it, we may well forget that. Yeah, to this day I love stories like that. People have gone so excited about ordering one and haven't actually ordered the head. It's just impressed. Yeah. I don't know if I'm impressed that they managed it or horrified that they managed it. Or happy that story is out there. That's probably where I'm at. I'm happy the story exists. Because at least I'm not going to make that mistake. Because when I put it in the basket, it's going to be, have we got the head? And then also, why is there a Reaver Titan in here? Yeah. These kits go together fairly tidily. Wait. Need to put some of that tranquil background music on, don't I? To keep everyone engaged. So they keep you all engaged, or maybe it's a music to put you to sleep. I'm not sure. Songs to sleep by. Let's get to the corner section. Apologies, I'll just mutter to myself, trying to figure out what's what. Cheers, Torrent. Yeah, it's pretty nice. You get a fair few little bits you can add on as well. We're not going to add every last bit of detail to them, but we may paint some of those smaller details up separately and stick them on over time. But it is almost one of those things where that, as soon as you start saying things like that, you're probably not going to do it. Sorry, as I start saying that, I'm probably not going to do it. And cheers for the link. I will get straight on that and get a Reaver ordered. No. Yeah, we've got a fair bit. So we've got all this Orc terrain, but we've also got a fair bit of the Necron terrain to get through as well. So plenty of new terrain for the table, which will go down well, I'm sure. I'll say when I finish this, I'll probably will have a look at the Cursed City box. But I do say that so often that I get to later on in the evening, I just think, no, I'll leave it to another day. So I've still not got my ACW box open yet, or my whatever that game's called. Yes, you all know what I mean, right? I'm not the one who owns a game store and should remember this. That's the one. Yeah. Dystopian Wars. There we go. I kept wanting to say Drop Fleet Commander. Not that one. So that is going to go firstly there. Goes there. Right. Yeah, certainly will be fun to paint. So I might pick out all the details on them, or add all the extra details in at the start, but likely will eventually. Yeah, it's very cool, this terrain. So even keep the orc aspect of it. It's not even a regular beam. It's just whatever they've got. That's pretty cool, indeed. Right. So it definitely looks like it goes there. We go on the front, which means here. Very cool. Just picking my brush up there to actually cut the pieces of terrain out I need. That is not going to work. Did you find it easier as you were going along, Steve, or did you just find it as frustrating as the first one you did? As you say, they are tiny pieces. It is. Models do look great though. Yeah, I've got a fair few to still assemble. I got the Grandmaster Edition when it first came out. Yeah, and also tomorrow it's the pre-orders for the War Master Titan as well. So that is the biggest one they've done to this point, and it looks amazing. Base. Not base. Yeah, that one. And this was one of the systems that was talked about getting an event day. There was a few of us that were going to do something. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Technically, we can't release prices for anything till the morning. But whatever price you can find, we'll be doing it 20% off RRP for the week's pre-order. That is my diplomatic answer to that one. Ah, excellent. Glad to hear it's working out. Can't remember if that was Simon or maybe Dan who mentioned that to you. What's that one? It's gotta be that one. Nope, that's the wrong one. I think that's one of the great things about the group that we have. The community is just incredibly helpful. Um, it's not been unhelpful too many times, which has been it's been a joy for us actually that we've not had to deal with too much within the group. And long may that continue. Yeah, as well as the um, the War Master, I think there's another Maniple for Titanic has been released, along with the Legios, the Loyalist Legio book as well. So it's one of those definitely one of those weekends where there's lots of the box games getting releases. Black Library wise, what have we got tomorrow? Is it there's an Alfarius book releasing? Well, up for pre-order. I know he's come to check up on me. Yeah, so like Dom's saying, so he said we'll sort you out with a deck of some description. You can get a feel for the game. Let's see, two of the supports on now for the piece of terrain. So that's the you're on this camera, aren't you? The orky ness of it all. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Cork does work pretty well. Certainly does. Again, like you say, I think it is one of those. If it's painted well, it looks really good. stage of the design. So that very much goes over there. I think that's definitely, for me, the one thing that, as much as I love seeing a really good paint job on models, I think the basing is just, it's as important. I think one of our first paint competitions, I think where the, as it sounds, because the criteria for winning the competition was based on everything. I think the best painted group of models didn't actually win because the basing wasn't as good, whereas someone else's basing was insanely good and the painting wasn't bad at all, but it just tipped the balance. So all I'm using for putting these together is just PVA. It's not watered down or anything, it's just as it comes out. Not sealing it either prior to painting. Yeah, it takes a bit of paint up, but it's not horrendous amounts of paint, especially using the airbrush. Yeah, we may try and come up with a theme ahead of next week's stream. Maybe get some ideas in, or specific things you want to talk about in relation to the hobby. Always happy to do that sort of thing. However, it'd be nice to just chat about the first week back at work as well. Be good to see some faces we haven't seen over this portion of lockdown as well. So where are they saying to put that? They are saying to put it to the back end. Sorry guys, just me trying to figure out exactly where they tell me to put this. So I don't think it goes there. I think it goes there. So makes no sense. Let's do the rest of it first, then it might make more sense. Yeah, that definitely needs the outer bit on first. spares. Yeah, as you can probably see from a lot of the armor plates, well, these are the edges. They are just like armor plates that you'd expect to see on Orc vehicles, Orc terrain. So they'll make it look pretty cool. That's because you need that on the bottom, isn't it? That's right. Yeah. Slowly figuring out what they want me to do with that other piece that I was just looking at. It's taking me far longer than it should have done. This is where you see me pushing it all together and you just hear a crack as I push slightly too hard. Nope. It's good. Phew. Next piece. Yeah, there's not too much of this build left. I'm taking as so I'm trying to take my time, make sure I keep up with the chat as well. If I wasn't on the stream, you'd probably see me snapping a few of these out a bit more, especially on terrain like this where the slightly dishevelled nature of the building won't really matter if there's a piece of the MDF just snapped off. As I showed you earlier, that it's going to be difficult to see, but that is all that's all you get. You just get a couple of those little join points that you just either file down, or I'd use the knife. I'm not using a sharp knife at the minute. Just an old blade for pushing them out. It's only really a tiny bit of pressure I'm putting on. Sounds a lot worse than it is. That's just how tight the wood is sometimes in the into the frame. Yeah. Thankfully, they're not insanely difficult to put together. And I think it helps. I've now assembled a lot of these. Well, this style of building, MDF anyway. So you get a lot of value out of them. So I picked up a couple of extra white TT Combat Do white boxes around Christmas. So we picked up a couple of those. Sold a few in store, and then we had a couple. We just got the World War II Tank Factory one left now, which is a really good Stalingrad type box for bolt action and things like that. So we've got that left. Whereas these, yeah, pretty sure that's it now. Yeah, there's a couple of orc huts to build. I built the stronghold a few nights ago. That's at work already. That'll be getting primed next week, I'd imagine. Just got a bit of, as you can probably appreciate, got a bit of tidying up to do in the courtyard. So you've seen the joy of the pigeons. They like to remind us that this is their house, not ours. So we have to keep on top of that. Yeah, so there'll be a pillar on the top. Spin it around, you'll see it a bit better. A pillar with that on it, so should fit into there quite nicely. So, and then I need to figure out exactly where this goes on the top of the building. I think there may be a base for it, and that's what I have not figured out yet. Yeah, it's showing it Swan's base. That's why. Yeah, there's a little base for it, so it makes a lot more sense now as to how I was going to get it to stand. One of the joys of MDF is dry fitting's great, but sometimes you go back to remove it from the dry fitting and you feel like you're going to break the whole model because it's that tight of a fit. You got the difference between TT Combat, they tend to cut 3mm MDF, you got Sarissa 2mm, and yeah, I think for 40k the 3mm works fine. I prefer the slightly thinner Sarissa 2mm for things like bolt action. I just think when you get to the edges of the buildings it just looks a bit better, but you can mix and match them quite well anyway, especially once they're painted, if they're painted up. Yes, yeah, they are indeed guard pigeons, and a few of them have names, and I've decided to stay well away from the naming of the pigeons. I don't want to become that attached to them that if we ever move that we feel the need to take them with us. Maybe I wasn't with the base. So they are definitely saying that's where they're saying. That's why there's two little gaps left, Stuart. So what they've done is they've created two gaps there, right in the edge, but they've got the support of the frame, so it is actually going to make them should. So we're going outside of that. Yeah, should make it sit nicely, and it has. Nicely done, TT Combat. Nicely done. So there's a few little add-ons you can do, but we're not bothering with those. So that's it now. It's I'll show you on the main cam. It'll probably be a bit small on some of your screens, but if I flip back for a second, to that, there we go. You see, that's what we've ended up with. So we've got the York and the stairway for the lookout tower. No, overall, so it didn't take too long. A few little bits we can add, but we will leave those for now. Let's go. Just stay on the screen for a few minutes while I just follow the chat. So I've got the I'm not sure if you can see. Give you an idea. This is the crane I was working on earlier today. So that is what doesn't even fit on the screen, so I'm going to have to take it right back. But you get an idea that pretty sizable pieces, some of these. And there's enough space on the crane just to put models as well. Once the rails are put on. Cheers, Tara. Yeah, they're nice pieces to put together actually. Don't need those. I'll say that I might stick a few more armour panels on to give it a bit more lift actually. That's one good thing about just the armour plates they add. You can just add them on and just makes them look a little bit more textured when it comes to having them painted up. It shouldn't matter so much on something like this building, but there's other buildings where it would be far more beneficial. I think we'll just add them on since I've got a few of them. Yes, it certainly would. Yes, it's still, you can still see that still. Yeah, you can. It moves around as well. So it's got the bits there. So it's a pretty solid piece. I mean, it'd take a lot to knock it over. You'd have to full on punch it, but it will get knocked over. I'm sure now. I've said that. The first time someone just breathes on it, it'll get knocked over. I may put it on a larger base, some sort of MDF that I've done with a lot of the other pieces of terrain. So if I do that, then there should be no problems. If not, then make sure you got your models insured. So we can put yes. That looks like his jaw. It is indeed. Yeah, it's could do something with it. It's nearly fell off. It's all sealed at the bottom, but what I might do is, because you can't either go all the way down it. Yeah, I'll think of something. But as I say, it's not been knocked over at all, and had it on the desk. Daughters have been around it and not knocked it over. So if my 5-year-old can manage, no, actually I've been that gamer before who has knocked something crashing to the table. Haven't hit anything, thankfully. But I've just had that moment of, oh no, what have I done here? He will never take me on again. And the plan worked. Yeah. No one likes a clumsy gamer, do they? So if I go back to the other camera now, large working area. Let's see, we had but also it came with a piece for the lower jaw, so we can just build it up and also hide the pegs that are behind it. So there's a few pieces they'll add into terrain pieces just to hide some of the workings, which is impressive. It also just gives you a much more solid feeling model. I've got a few armor panels to put on. Let's think, where can they go? They can go on the side of this building, I think. Yes, there's a bit of bare space on these two walls here. I'll move it forward a bit, that would help, on these two walls. So I'm just going to put some armor panels on those. See if we can break up the mass. And that already looks a bit better. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Kill Team played in store again. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone played, but Kill Team was one of those that was played a reasonable amount of times. It'll be interesting to see if any of the... because I've not even opened the box of Pariah Nexus yet. See how that is. See if, does that add much to the system, Rich? What you've seen from it? So it's not something I've cracked open yet. Hopefully will in the coming weeks. All being well. That's good. That's better. Yeah. So this has definitely made a difference. Just to this area where there wasn't really much going on. So it's just gone from being that plain wall to now having bits of armor plating on there. And for me, that will do for that. Now that is definitely finished. Probably, maybe. Just switch back to the main screen for now, just while I have a drink and get a top up. As I mentioned before, we're definitely looking at continuing with the Fantasy Flight, which will now be AMG games, well, Atomic Mass games, organised play that they do for Legion. There's a lot of interest in having organised, sanctioned style events, so we definitely want to get on board with that. So we're now registered for Pokemon as well, so we'll be able to do more events for that. Yu-Gi-Oh will continue. Be interesting to see how, we've mentioned this before, especially when Ed's been on, how lockdown will have affected systems such as Yu-Gi-Oh, things like that. Will there be a major drop-off in players? I know some of them have switched systems. But it'd be interesting to see if there's those that still want to play. I know there's been some flitting in and out of them. The issue with Yu-Gi-Oh, we've already mentioned, I've mentioned this many times, is the online support wasn't great from Konami. Dual Links is quite difficult because you've got to have your own setup similar to the top-down camera that I've got, and that not everyone's got the ability to have the setup, which is fair enough. But the one at the weekend ran pretty smoothly, which is good. So hopefully we can sneak a few more of those in. There'll only be low player counts, I'd imagine. But if you know anyone who's interested, get them to drop us a message and we'll make sure they get notified. And get them on the Discord as well, the Grim Dice Discord that we've got. Get them on there. It's always, I think there's quite a lot more chat from CCG. I know Ed's in there a fair bit, keeping topics running, which is great. And there's a few others. I think Chris Dent is in there as well. Yu-Gi-Oh is a tricky one, I think, because it's had so many iterations and so many editions. I think if you've been there for a while and you've lived through those editions, it works well. Just see if I can find that link for you. And also, if you're a new player going into it, it's not too bad. But if you dropped in, let's say a few years ago, and then dropped out again, apparently that's when it's quite difficult to work with. Let's have a look. See if I've got this to hand for you. Good. things where it takes me ages to find it. 'Cause it was... there we go. Yes. See, I believe it's that. Let's check. It may have expired. Just bear with. If not, we are Grim Dice Tabletop Gaming. So log out of that one. Log out. Yeah, just bear with me while I find it. It's just me logging in from a new location or a new laptop. Just have to verify it. Now we should be good to go. Excellent. Yeah, let us know if you struggle finding it. Shouldn't. Right, so now what to assemble next? That is the question. There's definitely a part of me thinking I need to crack on with more terrain. Close that down. Excellent. Alright, sorry about that. Trying to hunt that down. Cheers that, Taryn. Much appreciated. Right, I'll switch back to the other camera because I'm probably going to carry on working on the orc terrain for a bit. Just got another sort of hut to build. I'll get that one built. Again, similar to the last one. Some of these are larger pieces, so they are just popping out with a couple of clean-up pieces on the base, but nothing to worry about too much. Got all the pieces. That's that one. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not too worried if something doesn't quite come out the sprue correctly. There's a couple of pieces you probably look at and go, yeah, you want to make sure that gets out, like the door here. And the side walls for it, just make sure they come out a bit cleaner than the rest. So I've just got corners to fit into, but apart from that, not really worried too much. Told you I was at new knife blade time, didn't I? This is where we play the game of where has Stu kept his knife blades today? Right. Just bear with while I sort them out. There's one of these boxes down here. Wrong one. You gradually see me disappear out the picture. It's going to be fun for you all. So those ones. When you go into your toolbox and you find stuff you'd actually forgotten you own. Bonus. Just some smaller magnets I'd forgotten I actually had. Which as and when I get round to doing some of my Titanicus bits, or some more of my Titanicus bits, they'll come in incredibly handy. Oops. Yeah, cheers Taryn, cheers being in the chat, and cheers to the pictures. put them in a fairly safe place away from the kids. It's always good. Responsible. Right, that's that done. Right, back to what I was doing. Toilet door. Yeah, so that anyone that's left in the chat, is there anyone working on anything at all? Anything different? Or just here for the chat? My chestnut's ramblings. Yeah, I'm not sure it'll go down well if I mount it on a piece of oak terrain. I think health and safety will have a field day with that one. But it served me well. So that goes into that. Yeah, I did well. I managed to not cut myself on the blade, but then cut myself on the clip of the box I went to search. Always good times, good times. This looks like a toilet door, and last name is Chestnut, and that is what I will say was the link between them. Nothing else, probably. But yes, I'm not renowned for making myself clear at times. I can see the connotations there. But, yeah, see you, Dave. Cheers. Where are we at now? So yeah, you'll see me intently looking at the instructions sometimes. I've probably already said that several times. Where are we at for the roof? The roof is a smaller piece. So that into that, and that into there. Do that moment. I've checked through many pieces of MDF to try and find the piece you really want, but you sure it's not there. It's definitely that, isn't it? Yes, it is. I was just looking at it totally the wrong way there. Knife definitely isn't stable enough in there. Oh, that's cool. So you're still on the Legion build, Rich? That's nice. Be good to do some sort of campaign, Legion campaign. There's enough of us locals that I know own a copy. So, next bit. Other doorway. Put this one on first. So has anyone got any new systems or anything they're looking forward to? I know a lot of people. I know the majority of things are going to be the people looking forward to gaming again. Probably playing some of the systems I've picked up during lockdown. As I mentioned earlier, I'm very much looking forward to this Cursed City. And just seeing how that plays out. I've been really enjoyed Blackstone Fortress, even though I've not played enough of it. I've thoroughly enjoyed every adventure or every session of it that I've had. Yeah, Royal Guard. Oh, you've already got. Yeah, you had Palp, didn't you? Yeah, so a good fit there. Yeah, I've not had the joy of assembling any of the Imperial stuff because me and Dom both picked up a core set and just switched out. I took all the rebels from it. He had all the Imperials, so I've not had the joy of building any of those. I think they were still one of the bagged up ones as well, weren't they? The pre-sprue, if memory serves. So that goes into that. That goes into that. That goes into that for later. I have played a couple of games of Kill Team and enjoyed it. Got some Space Wolves ready to go. I just need to figure them out a bit more. Kill Team was one of those ones I really like the idea of. As mentioned many times, I'm not someone who overly enjoys painting. In fact, the only times I've ever really got down and knuckled down to painting was when I had events to get ready for. So it's always got done. It's not something I often find myself going out of the way to do. During the initial stages of first lockdown, I've painted up. I think it was approaching. I think it was about 1,200 points of Nighthaunt for Sigmar. But then I've still got a heck of a lot more to paint up for said system. But yeah, the joy of Kill Team is that I can paint up 6 figures and have a game. I've got a heck of a lot of different boxes that would do just the job for that. Yeah, many different. I've got some Grey Knights. Got some Scions. Yeah. Deathwatch. Yeah, there's a bit there. Yeah. How were you doing the Crusade? Were you escalating points as you went through, or not? Because I wouldn't mind doing some sort of escalation style event at some point with a group. Sort of. I don't know what's sensible. Start 500 points, and then move on to eventually a couple of thousand. I think for me the last year has been about. We played a lot of board games at home because it's been good. The kids have enjoyed that sort of thing. Whereas miniatures not really made an appearance, which is a shame, but also understandable. I'd rather they engaged in the board game for for the 2 hours that we play than being utterly disinterested in playing a miniatures game. Is that the right piece? That looks like the right piece. Then got some orky doorway. Ah, it's power levels, yeah. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I've got all the stuff for it. Yeah, it's definitely that. That would probably be that would be a motivator to painting. Are there any major changes to the rule set? Is it from ninth, or is it a good way of picking up ninth? Ninth, or wherever we're at the moment after any erratas and stuff. Yeah. Potentially the trickiest bit of these sort of builds is when you get these long spars that you have to put all the way along the model. You can guarantee you mess it up at some point just by putting a bit too much pressure. I forgot what the question was. Crusade is what I was last referencing, so it'll be to do with that. Put glue on the right thing, that would help. games begin. I'm trying to put this thing together. As I said at the start of the night, it'll probably be a slightly shorter stream than normal. So we're trying to keep an eye on this. I feel like I've got to get this done before I head off. So who knows? It might still be a standard 3-hour stream that we do. Let's think. Am I doing this the wrong way around? Yes, because that's all going to be full. So that makes no sense. Just doubting myself there, and I'm glad I did, because I'd have got a bit further up and it'd have been a nightmare. So essentially there's a wrap that goes over the top of this in a bit that has a little almost lookout tower, and if I'd have carried on building it that way, I'd have covered over said tower, cover over the design that's on the outside of this building with a tower, so it would have been pointless. That works. Okay. So does it run? So it's running totally with the errata then. Okay. Check. Yeah, as you say, would be incredibly annoying. What is that? Yeah, that makes sense that it does change, but I can imagine the frustrations of it as and when it does. It certainly piqued my interest though, that one. Actually, have you got plans to restart a campaign once the game is allowed in store? Was it a continuation of what you've been doing already? Has anyone got any specific? I don't know how many's left in the chat because the number doesn't always correlate. That's at the top. So if there's anyone left, got anything particular you want to chat about for another 15-20 minutes? That does sound cool. So far, this one hasn't been too bad to put together. Is there? They get the pieces slightly out of order, but because of the design on them, they're easy enough to get back in. Pretty obvious which way they're supposed to go. If you fancy some sort of campaign, a crusade campaign, give me an idea of power level and I can work towards something. If you fancy give me a run through of how it works. Do like a few a few battle campaign, and I should have the flow of it by then. Obviously it requires me getting something painted, but if I have something to work to. But that's where we're at with the hut at the minute. It's not too bad. And that's the other end. The Orky door. It's pretty cool. Right, so that's the base. I've got another one of those to build, but I've also got the racking, the little roof section to go over the top. I'll just push that back there. Let's see how that fits together. Yeah, not too bad. Right, so it's fairly straightforward. Three outer pieces. Unsurprisingly, there's no one on Twitch tonight. I know Chris has had his Star Trek Adventures tonight, which is always a good one to tune into if you get the opportunity. USS Leeds, it's been a good one, and Ed's often on Twitch. I think he's actually a bit of COD this evening. Cool. Yeah, no worries. I wasn't too worried about it being in depth. I was more just wanting some games basically. But I will speak to him when I see him. That's the front. That makes sense. Alright, so the front edge of said building. I'd take a no frill crusade with plenty of explosions. That's fine. Stuff blowing up's always good, right? Double chain. This is definitely this side. Double chain. Sorted. Right, well, I think I'm going to call it there for the evening. We'll crack on with more of this tomorrow. Should I get time after cleaning the passageway at work. But thanks to everyone who's joined in this evening, and thanks to Rich for sticking with me till the bitter end. And yeah, we will be back next week, all being well. Dom will be with us as well. But yeah, as I say, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us, and stay safe. Obviously, we're open again on Monday, 900 through to yeah, what time do we close? 1800, yeah. So 9 through till 6. Yeah, so I have all those collection times. You can still order online and do click and collect in store, and yeah, be ready for you. Yeah, and thanks for the final Titan Builder link of the evening. I will have